First of all, I'd like to congratulate the Warriors on winning their 4th championship in 6 years. A dynasty very few teams have done. And congrats to the Celtics on their big run. Some things just never go away. And I'd also like to congratulate Kobe Bryant's protege, Andrew Wiggins. But in all seriousness, congratulations to Steph Curry. I've been supporting this man for so many years. Here's the Steph Curry jersey from 2015, youth medium. But what does this Finals MVP mean for him? And what does this championship mean for the Warriors dynasty? Well, this Finals MVP and his 4th championship probably boosts Steph Curry into the top 10 players of all time. Quite a prestigious list, but how much does that really matter? But that's up for you to decide if you really care about all-time rankings. But whose legacy this really looks bad for is Kevin Durant's. But I'll save that for another video, because this was the first finals in Steph Curry's career where he was truly the best player on either the winning or losing side. And he had much less help, especially in the finals, than other years. Klay Thompson wasn't hitting shots like he used to. Jordan Poole was inconsistent. Draymond Green constantly fouling out. And yet, even with the best defense in the league on him, Steph Curry shined, including a Game 4 performance, which is an all-time one. But now is when the narratives will start to fly. And I'll try to stay away from most of those, but the main one that will intrigue most is Steph Curry versus Magic Johnson. Who is better? Most have Magic Johnson very high on their list, top 6, top 5 maybe, but how high could Steph Curry be ranked? Well, let's look at their resumes. In terms of accolades, Magic wins. Magic has 1 more championship, 2 more Finals MVPs, 3 more All-NBAs, 4 more All-Stars, and 1 more regular season MVP. Both changed the game in a major fashion. Magic made the game truly positionless, and Curry revolutionized the 3-ball. But where Steph Curry shines is in the records, breaking the all-time 3-point record, and indisputably the greatest shooter to ever walk this earth. Steph Curry has him beat in career points, as well as being a 2-time scoring champ. What you have to remember is Curry is still adding to this resume, and the Warriors dynasty doesn't look like it's going to end anytime soon. They are truly built for the future. These championships were not a 2 or 1 year rental. They built up this squad, and that's why they're a dynasty. And even still adding young studs. We've still yet to see what Wiseman can do. And Kuminga is here, with Moses Moody, who both had to watch the locker room celebration from the outside. And we know this is a stable organization, who drafts well and makes good free agent signings. So even though their big 3 still has many years left, there will be future players to pick up the slack. Much like the San Antonio Spurs. When Tim Duncan, Manu, and Tony Parker all got old, they handed the torch to Kawhi. And they made good free agent pickups, LaMarcus Aldridge, and they were still one of the best teams in the NBA. A 20-year dynasty, which is what I could easily see happening to this Warriors team. A lot of the talent nowadays is spread around the whole league. There's no real super teams, and I like that. But that makes it a lot easier for the Warriors than it was for the Spurs. The Spurs had to deal with multiple Lakers teams, Celtics, Heat, this early Warriors team, and the Warriors team with KD. But now every team has 1 superstar and then a good supporting cast. But none are as good as the Warriors right now, obviously. And this is a big market squad who can attract free agents. And if things pan out, they have a great future big 3. Jordan Poole, Jonathan Kuminga, and yet to see James Wiseman, as well as good supporting pieces. But this Warriors team doesn't just acquire talent. They can develop their players and bring them to their maximum potential. Obviously, the biggest example you look at is Andrew Wiggins. This was a guy who a few years on the Timberwolves was really kind of a wasted talent. Not in the fact that he was balling out on a bad team, but the fact that he had all the tools, but it didn't seem to be putting it together. And when they sent D'Angelo Russell to Minnesota and acquired Andrew Wiggins, you really saw what this Warriors organization was capable of. A guy who is known as taking plays off, not playing any defense, not really caring, and not given his physical tools that very, very few have. But as soon as he stepped in the door in San Francisco, they had him shooting way more efficiently and playing so much better in the defensive end, and just the overall hustle, and really attacking the paint. When Wiggins was in Minnesota, he would just pull up from mid-range all the time and put up bad shots that the defense, could live with, which was a far cry from what we saw in his high school and college days, where he was dunking on everyone. He looked like the next Kobe. But you can see the difference this year. Multiple poster dunks, but it's not just about the highlights. This man has a great finishing around the rim, and he was just underutilized. But that is the main reason why this dynasty will last. This is definitely not their last deep playoff run. And what you see from all great dynasties is trusting in themselves to make draft picks and not having to trade away all their assets for good players, and truly getting worth for their draft picks. The 80s Celtics and Lakers, the 90s Bulls, the 2000s Spurs, and now the 2010s and 2020s Golden State Warriors. These teams were all home built, and obviously being big markets helped. But it's no secret that drafting is the best way to getting a championship and a dynasty. But unfortunately, that's really hard, and you need a lot of luck. Like having the Kings or Timberwolves draft ahead of you will help a lot. Sorry, T-Wolves fans and Kings fan. But what do these dynasties all have in common? They all revolutionized the game in some way and created something that other teams could not figure out how to defend at first. The Lakers, positionless play, Magic at the 5. The Bulls, and the triangle offense. The Spurs, an incredible ball movement. The Warriors, with small ball and the three-point shot. All 4 of these teams popularized something that would become a staple in how you win championships in the NBA. So the keys to having a dynasty are not having just all the best players, because as we've seen throughout history, it either fails or is a 1 or 2 year rental. Then things flare up in the locker room, stars can't coexist, and they break up. Kobe and Shaq, the Warriors and KD, Kyrie and LeBron. It happens all the time. But the true key to having a dynasty is your organization and being ahead of your time. Now obviously having Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Tim Duncan, and Steph Curry helps a lot. But none of those guys would have become what they were on different organizations. And there's a reason that these teams that can't draft, but just have to sign big free agents. New York. But there's a reason they're always struggling. There's always things flaring up within the organization, and they can't home grow talent. They have to sign players for big money who are just there for a check and will be there for 3 years and then probably out the door. And that's why Golden State has been so successful. They've had the same exact core for the whole 6 years. But that's just my thoughts. I'll see you in the next video. See you later.